on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here. Today I'm joined by this guy, Jiren'S. Today we're discussing episode 123. Wow, can I be any more obnoxious with that intro? You know what, Danny? Just to help me out, can you give me an obnoxious intro with the voice too, so we can kind of like vibe off the energies?
What's up, guys? It's Rhymestyle here, and today we're gonna review episode 123.
I thought you were gonna do your announcer voice. Whatever, shut up. So, we're gonna talk about episode 123 of Drama Simple, which just aired, which technically aired yesterday. You watch this the next day or some point in the future from the point it aired. It aired, and basically we got the continuation of Jiren versus Vegeta and Goku. But before we get to that, let's talk about everything else that happened prior to, because there's a lot that actually went down in this episode. First and foremost, let's break it down into three parts, Danny. You ready? Part one, Toppo and 17 versus, Toppo versus 17 and Gohan, that one. So it worked out, kind of. Basically, what they tried to do was 17 and Gohan can't fight together because they never fought, which I gotta make sense. You know, you gotta know the person, your partner, before you can do anything. So I understand that completely. But it was kind of like, come on, adjust. And what they ended up doing is they had 17 trap Toppo in his barrier, and they're just gonna launch him out of the thing. Now, I feel like that kind of was pointless. I thought they were gonna go in a way where it's like, okay, well, I just have you blast me, and I'll stay in the shield and just kind of get knocked off with them. But they didn't do that. Instead, they kind of like let go like right before you got to the edge, and nothing really happened. What did you think about that?
That was my same train of thought. Like, I thought they were, at first I was like, oh man, they're just gonna, you know, let 17 go. But like, in my head, I'm thinking they probably won't do that, because I'm actually kind of starting to feel like they're gonna win by numbers instead of like actually knocking everyone out.
Right.
Because like they're gonna run out of time eventually, and it's gonna be just like Jiren and Goku and Vegeta, and Universe 7 is just gonna win because there's two people left versus one person left. So they can't just like have people dropping off left and right. I thought it was cool though. Like, I thought it was a cool way to go about it, but it was definitely like, it was way too easy and way too convenient. So I was like, well, he's obviously not.
Yeah, he's not going yet. Like Toppo, even though Toppo has done very little, Toppo is like the Universe 11 of Vegeta, where he's like important, but like not as important as the main character, which would be Jiren for them. So it was obvious he wasn't going to get knocked out yet. But if they would have knocked him out, that would have been great. I would actually love that, just because like, oh, now we have an actual shocker moment. Now all we have left is Dispo and Jiren. Speaking of which, Dispo. I know. I want to talk about Jiren badly, but we gotta talk about Dispo first. So last week we saw Dispo was actually kind of countering against Frieza, and he seemed to be like holding his own. Turns out he was doing nothing. Dispo gets up and was like, "Why aren't you hurt?" It's because you're weak, dog. Like, this is Frieza. I love that. It was beautiful. Sadly though, he's still fast and didn't do anything. What I would have loved to see, which we're probably going to see probably next week, is which we'll talk about that too. I would have loved to see, you know, Frieza kind of get up and then go golden and then give him a counter attack and then do something, torture him or something, like, right? But the fact that he can't because he's so fast was kind of like, again, it was lacking. I feel like the Toppo and the Dispo fight was just kind of filler. So we have to wait for next week for the main entree, which is going to be Jiren versus Goku and Vegeta. Anything you want to say about that?
I think it's kind of cool that Frieza hasn't gone golden yet, because he's literally just toying with him. Like, he knows he's obviously faster than him. Yeah. So he knows that he's probably not going to beat him that way, but he's still holding back because he's Frieza. So I don't know, man. I'm really excited to finally see how that plays out.
I just want to see Frieza do something. Like, bruh, like, literally, they brought back Frieza, what, episode 96, 94? We're now on 123, and he hasn't done anything. The only notable things that Frieza has done is, number one, he tortured that person off in the beginning of the arc. And then he knocked out Kabe, and that's about it. He hasn't really done anything.
He's saved Goku, what, twice now?
Yeah, he saved Goku technically, so there's also that. But I mean,
like, so far, him in the tournament has been a phenomenal addition, though, because he's so Frieza. Like, his character is so Frieza. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna talk about the main entree. Jiren versus Goku and Vegeta. So let's break it down into several parts. The first part is gonna be the beginning, and of course, then the middle, and then the end. So, in the beginning, we have basically Vegeta on the ground still. First of all, Jiren acknowledges him as a warrior, which is cool, but then he tells him to sleep, which I thought was kind of disrespectful. It was like a backhanded compliment. It's like, he compliments him, and then he kind of like, you know, just doo-doos on his life. Goku comes out with a brilliant plan, which was kind of annoying to see. Essentially, what he did is he dropped a bunch of key dusts. I don't know what to call it. This is like a little dust of key.
Landmines. Key mines.
Yeah, they were landmines, but he was dropping all around them while popping around them. And I guess his plan was to use the destructive disc to kind of get him to be on top of that tower, which I feel like he kind of came up on a fly. Like, he made the landmines, but they did nothing. So then plan B was when he threw the destructive discs, when he was on top of that tower when it fell over, he used the plan that Krillin used against him before the tournament actually happened to basically knock Jiren off. Now, while that was a cool plan, and while like you know what's going to happen again, just like with Toppo, Jiren wasn't going out yet. It was kind of annoying because the man got knocked out. Like literally, he pops up above him after he has no ground below him, knocks him down, and what does this man do? He hops in a pebble.
Yeah, that part was definitely annoying. Like, obviously he wasn't going to be eliminated, and like we've seen stuff like that before, where someone is like falling and they jump off of like a giant piece of the platform, which kind of makes sense. You could theoretically do that, but he literally did it off of a rock that was like smaller than his foot.
Yeah.
So like, even though this is a show about people with superpowers and flying and transformations and stuff, that I'm like. No, like that literally doesn't make any. He literally would not be able to propel himself off of that rock. It doesn't.
This is what I would have done. And by the way, from you guys in the comment section below, I'm gonna hear your thoughts on this as well. Like what would you have done differently, or what Toei did? Was that right? Because when the second that Jiren got back on the ground, he was like pissed, and he was showing off the full power. In the beginning of the episode, Vegeta even says that Jiren hasn't even used his full power at all yet, and we've seen him go toe to toe with Goku when he went Ultra Instinct the first time, but apparently that's nothing still. Which reminds me of the fight against Frieza on Namek, where like Frieza realized that, or not realized, but Goku realized that Frieza was barely using his full power yet, and then like really got down to business. What I would love to see happen instead of him jumping up a stupid pebble, what he should have done is he should have just looked down and just punched the air and just like literally like propelled himself up. Because then now you have to deal with the situation where it's like, okay, look, we can't just knock Jiren off. Like we have to like knock him out and then throw him off, because if we knock him off, he's just gonna do the fisting. I guess in the future, if he gets knocked off, he can just jump off a pebble again, or perhaps he can even do the fisting. But the second that Jiren got back on the ring, this is cool. He kind of like showed him a glimpse of his power. In fact, it was so powerful that this man literally punched the air, and it made Goku go to the base form when he realized, oh, you kind of strong. You want to run this back like next week or something? So. He's powerful. He's really powerful. But that's what I'd love to see instead. Like, if he would have just propelled himself up by just punching the air and then landed on the thing, it would make more sense. But, like, no, you jumped on a pebble that was falling. That's not how physics works.
Before we get too far, though, the Goku scene, like, with him, I love this. When they actually show Goku being, like, the genius, like, fighter that he is. And he's, like, so just top, not, like... I don't know, man. That was so cool, and I love when they do callbacks to like him being like Krillin being like, "Oh man, he used my move right there." I don't know.
Well, it wasn't just his move. He literally uses his entire strategy by carving up the ground below him.
Yeah, but it was brilliant though. Like, I mean, the way that he did it.
Like, I love it. Tell you right now is if I'm sitting there fighting Jiren IRL, the last thing I would think about is, oh yeah, I should just do this move that Krillin did on me.
Exactly. Like that's what he's like. He's literally a genius fighter. And so the whole time he's like constantly plotting. It's not because I like seeing stuff like that versus like, I'm gonna shoot a blast. Oh, I'm gonna shoot a bigger blast. But now my blast is bigger. Like I don't know. I like the strategy side of it.
100% agree. Which speaking of which, the next thing we see is as Jiren's come back and showcasing his full power, it triggered both Goku and Vegeta to like break their own limits. I mean, Vegeta actually broke his limits by going, as you said when we were watching, Super Saiyan Blue beyond Super Saiyan Blue.
He went even bluer beyond. Yeah.
We still have noted what it is. He did break a shell. They even said limit broken Vegeta. And he seemed more bluer. His eyes are more blue. He's sparkly. He's glowing. It's like an ultra version of Super Saiyan Blue. Or maybe like a max power one or master Super Saiyan Blue. Who knows? There's no like actual breakdown what it actually is yet. But he did a set. He basically... This is all or nothing, basically. So we're
I think the technical term is Super Saiyan 2 God Super Saiyan 2. I think is what... I think that's the official term. Right.
SSG to SS... Yeah, that makes sense. But now we have basically how I knew it was going to end last week with this episode ending. We have basically Vegeta and Goku going into full power. Goku is not in his Ultra Instinct form yet, but something that did throw Jiren off when they counterattack is they're not coordinated, and because they're fighting so sloppily, it's throwing Jiren off, which I didn't really understand that part, but that's where we're at right now.
That part actually kind of makes sense to me, and it's actually kind of cool because it's like Jiren is this super, because Jiren is like this super, crazy powerful warrior who probably has all these techniques. So he has all these things that he's like expecting to happen because he's so well versed in fighting, but they're like completely out of sync. So he's just wait a minute, this isn't how people normally fight.
I mean, it works out. Right now, they got the upper hand for now. Now, based on how they set this entire episode, though, Jiren is still probably like ages above Goku and Vegeta. How are they going to get out of the situation? Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, when Goku goes into Ultra Instinct, maybe him being in that form and Vegeta being in his Beyond Blue, whatever the hell it's called, it might be like, it might throw Jiren off the balance, and they could potentially use that to beat up. I mean, the entire Super Series, they've been hinting at the fact that Goku and Vegeta have to team up together for a powerful opponent. Now, they always hinted it was going to be Beerus, but it could also be Jiren in the situation. Now, I would love to see them team up against Jiren, but I want something different that we don't expect. Because at this point, we're all expecting the same thing to happen, where basically Goku will use Ultra Instinct defensive style mode to attack Jiren, while Vegeta is all about his attack mode. So like they're like actually teaming up with their weaknesses together to make one powerful combination of a warrior that beats Jiren.
A Vegito, if you will, yeah.
A Vegito without the actual fusion. I mean, I'd rather see that than the actual fusion itself. I mean, as much as I want to see Vegito come back, it's kind of a cop-out. And I want to see Goku and Vegeta actually do something different, which is team up, work together to beat Jiren, as opposed to something as simple as fusion, if that makes sense. In the comment section below, let us know your thoughts on that, how you love to see, I guess, the finale of the fight. Because we're to the point where it's ending soon. It's ending within the next, like, couple weeks. Let's be real. I mean, he did say this is all or nothing. Next week, no, briefly.
I don't know, man. How much time is left? Like 7 minutes? That's like 7 episodes worth of Super. Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, they did say it's ending sometime in the spring, I think, somewhere around. So we're getting there. We're getting there. You also got to get the outro, like the actual wish, yada, yada, yada. Oh, yeah, one last thing. I love that Vegeta was like, I made a promise to Kabe. Dude, Kabe is literally like the son that he always wanted.
I mean, but he knows, I don't know. I feel like it's different because people are like, oh man, why isn't Vegeta fighting for his family? Like he obviously is.
He is.
Like he's clearly fighting for everyone,
He's
but there's still
for
like this.
A lot of people.
And I feel like people are starting to forget that like like Vegeta has kind of moved on past the whole like Saiyan thing, but I don't think completely. Like I think part of him is like I have to bring this other Saiyan race back because I can't just let them. I can't let them be eradicated.
Development.
Like my Saiyans were eradicated. Like I don't know. I feel like that's his stance on it.
It's amazing character development. I love seeing that. Next week is interesting though. We have Gohan and Frieza teaming up against Dispo, and it showed a brief angry Beerus at the end. Now, I have a feeling that Frieza is going to try to betray Gohan. I don't know why. I don't know how. Maybe he realized that, you know, I'd rather be on Jiren's side than, you know, against the side, because if he goes against Jiren, he's obviously going to lose, and Frieza's a scumbag. And again, the thing about having Frieza in the tournament right now is he's very unpredictable. I have a feeling that next week he's actually going to team up with Dispo against Gohan, which is why we saw that brief angry Beerus at the end. Unless that was Dispo powering up, but it looked like Beerus. It has aura and everything.
I just feel like that would be weird because like he literally can't switch teams, and I feel like Frieza is smart enough to know that if he takes out Gohan in 17. Like, then they're literally going to lose. Because, like, Frieza's not going to be any match for Jiren, obviously.
I mean, the question is if he breaks a deal with Dispo, because Dispo has no chance against Frieza. They made that clear in this episode. If he breaks a deal like, hey, man, I'll help you fight Gohan and Universe 7 if you revive me, would Dispo do that? Like, I know Universe 11 is supposed to be, like, all the good guys and, like, you know, stay true to their word, but, like, this is a scumbag right now. Unless I don't know. I
don't think Dispo would do that because he already was taking shots at Frieza for kind of being evil, being like, you want to die again, kind of thing. Like I don't know.
Gohan's going on next week. Gohan's last stand. He's going on next week.
I want to know what's happening to Toppo in 17. Where are they at? Are they just going one-on-one? Like what's happening?
I guess we'll find out next week. Toppo's not going out yet. There's no way they're going to eliminate Toppo and then go down to like, you know, Dispo versus everybody else. So I feel like, you know, he's just going to have to try to strike a deal with him. Maybe he's going to trick Frieza, you know, trick the scumbag. It's like, yeah, I'll wish you back. And that does nothing for him, actually, in the end. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We already talked way too much. 123 was hype. If there's anything we missed, feel free to call us out down below and we can discuss it. But other than that, let us know what your favorite part was of 123, anything else, and yada, yada, yada. We'll see you guys next week. Thumbs up, comment, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.